Hi, I'm Eric Johnson here at the Owen Graduate School of Management, and today I'm here with Maria Renz. Maria is the technical advisor to the CEO at Amazon, one of many roles she's had in the company, from running books and all physical media to running subsidiaries of the company, and now this kind of what USA Today called the most coveted job inside of Amazon. Welcome today, Maria.
Hi, good to be here, D. Johnson.
Well, tell us a little bit, what is it like to be, Jeff's shadow, as it were?
Right. It's pretty fabulous. I'm really enjoying the role. I'm about 6 months in. What it means is day to day, I spend my day with Jeff in any meetings relating to Amazon.com. And personally, I take it as an investment in me and my career, and so I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity. For the company's sake, my job is to try and help make him a better CEO, which is it's a small challenge. And that comes down a lot about how he's choosing to invest his time and what projects would benefit from his involvement. And then working with across the senior leadership team to ensure that we have a number of things going on and we're very empowered, but how does that senior leadership team come together and stay on pace with one another and make decisions? And so it's a lot of kind of go between the different divisions and working across the senior leadership team.
Wow. Now, as I was saying earlier, that's one of many roles you've had at Amazon. And of course, you started your career at Hallmark and then Kraft and in wonderful brand marketing kind of positions. How did you make those career decisions along the way?
Well, I think looking back, my career is, like most people's career, I think is a journey in self-discovery and really understanding what motivates you and where you have unique skills to contribute. I think over time, when time becomes more important in your life, you become more choosy in how you want to invest that, and you're drawn to what you enjoy doing. And so looking back, I've always been really attracted to consumer and consumer marketing, and that's where I started in CPG. And through Kraft and Hallmark, I realized that I like faster paced environments. Product development is a little bit longer cycle than retail. So moving more towards Amazon for me was really exciting because it was a faster pace. And then I also like being closer to the consumer, and the consumer is really where I get energy from. And so online was ultimate. You get feedback every day about what you're doing that day. And so to me, that was exciting. And I think that that's the path that led me to Amazon. And then within Amazon, it's been a process of taking an assignment because it was an interesting business problem to solve, and through that, learning a little bit more about myself, and that I love to build. And so that led to building and launching a number of new categories and businesses. Now it's more about learning leadership styles and observing that across our senior leaders and adopting pieces of that and understanding what pieces of leadership I really enjoy doing.
Well, I know you've spoken a lot, and I've heard you speak about how technology enables busy professional lives, particularly balancing family and life and all the other things around that. Can you tell us a story about that? What does that mean for you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm a huge advocate of technology because personally and professionally, it's interesting to me. And I think, obviously working for Amazon, we think a lot about consumers and how we empower them in their everyday lives. And personally, I think technology has been a huge force for good, especially with working women. I know I'm able to perform as wife and a mother and sister and all the different roles because of technology. Whether it's I was on an airplane and had an email from my daughter's teacher saying someone in her class had headlights.
Oh.
And it's never a great message.
Not a good day for that.
No, not a good day. And you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend all weekend, washing all the bed linens and just all that. And so being able to jump on my computer or my phone in an airplane, right, at 40,000 feet in the air and order lice prevention shampoo to be delivered that day. That never happened. I think about when, I'm sure women celebrate when a vacuum cleaner was invented, right, way back when. But technology has always empowered women, and I think more so today than ever.
That's neat. Well, one of the great joys of my job is I get to meet lots of really interesting executives like yourself that had amazing careers and done all kinds of interesting things. And I always ask them to share a leadership lesson, something you've learned along the way about leadership.
Well, there's one that comes to mind. My daughter came home from preschool, and she had just started school, and I happened to ask her, how does school make you feel? Do you feel smart at school? And she looked at me and said, "Oh, sometimes," and went back to coloring or doing whatever she was doing. And for a moment, that answer really concerned me, and I thought, wow, did we choose the right school, or are we raising her to be a confident child? But then the more I thought about it, I said, how perfect is this answer and this idea of being sometimes smart? And the more senior that you become, I think sometimes you forget that your job is still to be sometimes smart, right? You think that you have to be the expert on everything, but in thinking about my time at Amazon, I realized that when I've made mistakes, it's because I wasn't comfortable with being uncomfortable and not knowing everything, and being kind of vulnerable and asking what might be the silly or stupid question that would lead the conversation to greater insight and bring everyone along. And I think it's really important, even for leaders, to have that vulnerability and be willing to go to new spaces and look at things a little bit different. Because that's where I think we continue to be innovative and we continue to learn and get enjoyment from our responsibilities.
Well, Maria, thank you so much for spending the day with us at Vanderbilt.
No problem. Awesome to be here always.